Hi all. In this video, let's start learning about Next.js framework. I will do a playlist where I will add each and every topic with its simple examples as well. So please stay tuned to the channel and subscribe for more videos. From this video, let's learn about Next.js framework, the reasons why we need to choose Next.js, and what is the difference between client-side rendering and server-side rendering, and importance of this server-side rendering and which made this Next.js to the next level, and also a simple project setup and how to run that project. Okay, let's get started. The first thing is like, what are the reasons why we need to choose Next.js framework? So the first point is that Next.js is a React framework. So this is a first statement why we are choosing the Next.js framework. So this is like an headlines banner why we are choosing Next.js framework. The second point is like, so if you want to keep routing in a routing as a feature, what we do in React.js, we do React router. So we'll try to install this dependency, this library, and we'll use routing in the React application. This is what we usually do. But with Next.js, what happens? You no need to install this React router. So it by default provides this routing concept if you keep whatever the component in the pages folder. So about these pages, everything will be seen when we create the project, and in upcoming videos also we can see. So we'll be having a pages folder in Next.js where you can keep each and every page. So based on this, the routing would be designed. So it is like page-based routing. So it supports page-based routing in sense you no need to install any React router libraries or any additional libraries. So also with this Next.js framework, you can create static and dynamic applications. So there is no need, you can standalone applications or static applications also you can create with this Next.js application. And also it provides the image optimizations and font optimizations as well. So by default, it will provide the image and fonts optimizations as well. Also, you can write the Node.js code as well. So there will be a folder called API. So where in pages you will be having a folder called API. So here you can write the like API routes also you can write. So this helps us a lot. Okay, so this is also one of the major feature where you can write the API routes. Means this code would be very much similar to the Node.js code where you will be writing some API routes such that if anyone wants to hit something at the backend, we can reply back from this API routes. Okay, so this is one of the feature. And also built in it, so it supports built-in TypeScript and ESLint as well. Okay, so these are some of the benefits. Apart from this, it also has a prefetch feature, and in fact, in short, we can understand this Next.js framework is like ready for production application. So if you want to start any of the React project now, so it's good to choose Next.js as your choice, because by using this Next.js, this is a great tool where you can develop your React applications. It's like ready for the production type of applications. It will give a number of features, and it helps us to achieve all the features by inbuilt. So it will have all these features. Apart from this, the major thing is like it supports not only the client side rendering, it will also support the server side rendering as well. Okay, now these are some of the features why we are going for the Next.js. Okay, now let's discuss what is the difference between the server side rendering and client side rendering. So let's see that. So I have done a dedicated video on the differences between this client side rendering and server side rendering. I will keep this video at the end of this video, this link, so you can learn more about this server side rendering and its importance. Based upon this importance, the business and sales will be improved a lot. So that's the reason we are going to choose this server side rendering in all the applications which we are building in these days. Everyone is trying to choose a server side rendering. so that they can improve their business and sales. So that's the reason if your choice is to choose the server side rendering, then Next.js framework is the best choice to go with. Okay, fine. So let's discuss in short what is client side rendering and server side rendering. In client side rendering, if you observe this image, in client side rendering, what happens? So for example, the user when at this point, the user when he starts open a website, it means he will ask for a website. Browser will request that website to the server. First thing we need to understand, browser can only understand HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Plain HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Apart from these three, if you provide any of other things, like if you provide a ReactJS code, it takes some time to convert this ReactJS code into plain HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code. Browser takes some time to convert this ReactJS code into the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript code. So in the client-side rendering, what happens if a user asks any of the website, the browser goes to the server and it picks that and it will give that page to the to the user. So if that page is a React.js page, it gives as it is the React page to the user. Okay, it directly throws that React.js page to the user. At this point, the user would be seeing the loading symbol. Okay, now what the directly I got the React.js code. Now I need to convert the HTML code. That React.js code, I need to convert the HTML into that as a HTML code and JavaScript code and CSS code. Also, I need to download the other HTML files related to that React.js code. During this process also, user will be seeing the loading symbols. During all this time, so all this process will happen at the client side mission. Okay, at the client side browser, because the first point what we have done, we have asked for a website. Okay, browser searches that website in the server and it throws back to us. Even if it is a React page also, it throws back to us. Now the client side rendering starts. We got a page which is built on top of React. Now each and every operation happens at the client side. So the downloading part and the conversion of React.js execution, everything happens at the client side mission in the client side browser. Okay, that's the reason the end user used to take this time. So all here he needs to wait a lot of time to see the application, because he will be getting the React.js code and that code would be converted into plain HTML and CSS code, and that then it would be shown as a real application. So all this process will happen at the client side browser. If the client side machine is a weaker device, in sense if he has low internet, or if his RAM or ROM is completely full, I mean it is completely occupied, no space for him for the RAM and ROM, then in these cases he faces this loading time a lot, because every process happens in his browser, right? So it will be very low, very slow. So he will be getting a bad impression on our website. So this is all about the client side rendering. Now, how we are going to solve this problem in the server side rendering is that, so let's discuss now server side rendering. So here you can see the server side rendering. In server side rendering, what happens? The user requests our website or any other website. So that is made on top of React.js. So where browser, here also the same scenario where browser can only understand HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. But now what happens? If you request this page, browser will not throw the React page as it is. The server will not throw React page as it is. Okay, what happens at the server side? It will convert the React.js page into HTML page. Okay, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. At the server side, we are doing this. As we know, server machines will be it has more capacity in terms of space and in terms of operations and memory, everything. It will be having more at the server side. So that's the reason when you ask a page now, so here we are implementing the server side rendering. Now server will convert this React.js code into plain HTML and CSS code, and then it will throw that plain HTML CSS code to the end user, where the user can immediately see the application, because at the end users the client side rendering is not there, right? He will directly receive the HTML and CSS place, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. He will directly use that. So that's the reason he will be directly seen the code immediately. So in short, if you use server-side rendering, the process of React.js code, everything will be done at the server, not at the client browser. It will be happen at the server side. Okay, then the code would be, the application would be easily rendered to the user. Okay, this is the difference between server-side rendering and the client-side rendering, and the importance of server-side rendering. So that's the reason most of the e-commerce applications these days they are using server-side rendering. Fine. So now the last part is like project setup. So I have taken projects folder and Next.js folder. Here I am taking an cmd command prompt. Okay, I have taken one command prompt. I will write the command. So what is the command we are going to use? Let me write the command. So like uh, before that, if you're creating a project for Next.js, you need to, one thing is we need to have Node.js. Node.js is a dependency. So you need to download the Node.js. So this is the LTS, long-term support. Download the Node.js. Along with the Node.js, you'll be getting NPM. Through this, you can run or set up the Next.js application. Okay, I'm assuming that you have Node.js. If not, download this Node.js. You'll be getting the Node.js, and then create a project for your Next.js. Now you need to run this command npx node manager node package executable. Okay, and now you are using create. So usually we used to use create React app, but now in place of React, I need to use Next, because you are going to create a Next.js application. Okay, now, okay, let me create a sample. Here you need to give the sample React app. This is a project name. If I click enter, so now we are going to create an Next.js application. The project name is sample next app. So here I'm using yarn. You can use yarn or npm, any of the package manager you can use, but underlining it will be created an Next.js application for us. Okay, also have done a dedicated video mentioning the differences between the yarn and npm as well. Okay, I will keep that at the end of the video. So if possible, try to watch it as well. So now it is installing all the dependencies needed for the Next.js application, which includes the React DOM and React as well. Here you can see. Okay, because Next.js is based on the React and React DOM, React library itself, right? So that's the reason it takes some time. And once it is installed, your application. So this is a command you need to use to get the Next.js application. So these are the dependencies. It would be automatically installed. So once it is installed, so let me open it. Once if it is installed, so we'll go to that folder. Okay, let me open this in the VS Code. I'm opening this Next.js application in the VS Code. So once I open this, so I will take a terminal. We'll go to view. Here I can have the terminal. So once I have this terminal, so now I need to run yarn run dev. So this is a command I need to run the local development mode. So I'm running this project in a development mode. For that I'm using yarn run dev. So how I could know this is a command? Go to the package.json. Here you have dev. Okay, to run the application in the development mode, we need to use yarn run dev. Okay, so once everything is installed, I will run this command so that the Next.js application will be running in the development mode. So let's see whether it is installed completely or not. So it was came at this part. Okay. Okay, there is some internet connection issues, I guess. Fine. It takes some time. So the reason behind this is this is the first time we are installing this create next app. Okay, you can use yarn or npm. Both gives the same result. So for right, it was installed. So successfully we got this message. So now you need to go to this folder yarn dev. So yarn dev is enough. Okay, I'm running yarn dev. So once the project was built, I can run this yarn dev. So it will run the application in the development mode in the local host 3000. So I can go to the local host 3000 here. So I can see the React application. So this is the, sorry, I can see the Next.js application. So in this is in the development mode. Whatever you can do, it also allows us to do the live changes, hot reload. Whatever the changes you do, the changes would be reflected back automatically. So that's it for this video. In the next videos, let's learn about more about this folders and how the Next.js works behind the screens. Okay, fine. Thanks for watching. So please subscribe for more videos.